pretty and nice don't go together, and I'll be using the Lagos versus London's girls discuss to really explain why this is the case, right? As someone that grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, and I've now lived in UK for 3 years, and I know people, I have friends from Lagos, and I also have friends that grew up predominantly in London, and so I can understand from both sides. But what I'm just going to say here is that Lagos girls are not wrong for acting that way, because here's the thing about living in Lagos, Nigeria. It's different than any other place in the world. Like, people that live in that state, which happens to be the smallest state in Nigeria, they are in millions, like double digits millions. Like, I think it was estimated one time to be that 14 million or 20 million. You can look it up. But anyway, Lagos is not for the weak. Like, you know what they say, if you can live in Lagos, you can live anywhere in the world. So you can imagine how many pretty girls are in that city and the things they've had to like go through. And if you're dealing with that number of people within a small space, there has to be lots of vetting going on. And not to also to mention that London and UK generally is a meritocracy to a large extent. So you don't need to know anybody, you don't need to have these connections. You could get a job, you could get a regular job. You may not get like, the best job in the world, but you could get a regular job. You could lead a normal lifestyle without knowing like this person or that person. But when it comes to Lagos, like, Lagos is a different ball game entirely. And here's the thing with being a pretty girl in Lagos, like, growing up, chances are that you did not even know you were pretty. The thing about pretty privilege is that you don't bestow it on yourself, like society bestows it on you. And so what happens within that period where you don't know you're pretty and to when you know you're pretty, many of these pretty girls get taken advantage of, especially in somewhere like Lagos, where it's dog eat dog kind of mentality. So if they are going to be like, if they've been taken advantage of many times in life, guess what? Your level of, awareness and level of being conscious and level of not really giving people respect until they've proved themselves would be like right up there. And the same happens to like many circles in Lagos, even with friendship groups and all that. It's like you need to prove yourself. They need to vet you. And I totally agree with that, because that's why I said at the beginning that pretty and nice cannot go together. Because here's the thing, being pretty, if you, let's say you made bad friends, or you made you ended up in the wrong relationship, guess what people will blame? You, because they feel you have loads of options. So why would you choose to be friends with this person, or why would you choose to marry that person? People come back to blame you in the end. So like, every pretty girl all over the world actually needs to vet more than any other person in the world. You need to vet people that come into your circles. And this is exactly what Lagos girls do. Like, they vet you, but they look at you like, what's this? And they vet you. And do you also know what it means to be successful and pretty in Lagos? Like, some people, you may argue that they've done it through legal means or whatever, but like, to attain a level of success in Lagos, there's a lot of bravery that goes into that. There's a lot of sometimes sacrifice. There's a lot of things that go into that. And can you imagine the kind of person that comes out on the other side of that kind of experience? The kind of personality is just different from anything that I've seen here in the UK. Like, people, there's this general niceness in British culture, such that even if you're not like best of friends, we need to be nice to each other. In Lagos, because of how the climate is, because of what the society is, unless you're in my circle or someone in my circle brought you in, as much as Nigerians, we get to December, everybody likes to have a good time. You can end up in someone's mansion and you don't know where it is. People pay for your bills. As much as that is the case, no one would really like turn to you unless you're brought in by a friend or a friend of a friend, or there was a certain type of like societal privilege that you had that made you like end up on a table or in a mansion. There's still like silent rules to this thing. So I think people are going to Lagos thinking, oh, like, it's just going to be nice, it's just going to be fun, everyone's just going to be nice to me, I'm going to know nobody. Yeah, people are nice, but Lagos girls, they have to vet. You can imagine like some of those girls, same girls we're talking about growing up, they've been through like so much like shit they've been through so much from different sort of people, and you don't need to they don't need that anymore in their lives. You just get to a point in your life where you're like, even me here, I'm like, I don't want certain people, and most of my Nigerian friends have the same mentality. I don't want, going to next year, I don't want certain people with certain behaviors that I don't agree with to be in my circle, I'm going to be vetting people more, because guess what, when you don't vet people, you attract the wrong set of people. You attract girls that, you know, have the wrongest intentions. You attract girls that, you know, maybe want to be you, and that is not a healthy dynamic to have. You attract people that are actually jealous of you. So guess what, Lagos girls, their level of vetting and their security antennas are like high up there, and they're just very sensitive to things. So even if you're popular, because even in Lagos, people that are popular, some people are also not necessarily good people, but they're popular. So whether you're like Madame Joyce or anyone, they just don't give you that until you've been vetted. Like, no matter who you are, you need to be vetted. Do you know what Lagos is like? You would run into someone, you would have an accident, and everyone would be like, do you know who my dad is? Do you know, do you get to, like, everyone has, Nigerians have that main character energy mentality. So they don't care how popular you are, you still need to be vetted, especially if it's not really about if they've achieved as much as you, it's about the things they've gone through to achieve that. And I hear people saying, oh, it's inferiority complex. So like, the average Nigerian, even here, like, inferiority complex. Have you met Nigerians? Like, talk less of like girls that in Lagos that look good, that baddies, that have their nice cars and their nice apartments and all that. Nah. Anyway, I hope you understand, and if you're a pretty girl, I think you should learn from this. I think London girls are not necessarily bad people, but you can't expect, it's a different climate, you can't expect people to act the same way. People will act based off their life experiences and what they've seen and what they've gone through, and you know, everybody just needs to be vetted in the end. And I 100% endorse vetting people. I don't think you need to insult people or whatever, but even in Lagos, there's like unwritten rules. When I was in uni, I went to University of Lagos. There's unwritten rules. You don't try to force yourself into a friendship circle. When you see a group of girls, you leave them alone, say hi, say hello. If you get an invite, great, but if you don't, you try to make your way in by sort of proving yourself, especially if it's a pretty girl group. Like, think of it, you may ask, why do I need to prove myself? But ask yourself, why am I trying to join this friend group? There must be some sort of value proposition there. There must be a reason you're trying to join in that friend group. There must be a reason why you think, oh, I want to be part of this girl. So if they're providing you some value, why would they give you that on a platter of gold without you, you know, showing that you're bringing in some value as well? Anyway, so like in uni, I pretty much picked that up, and it's just an unwritten rule in Lagos. You don't just like start smiling, whereas in London, you smile to everyone. Everyone's just like good vibes, because the society is not even as harsh, do you get? But with Lagos, it is harsh, and so like people are not generally just nice. But what I'd say is that a lot of Lagos girls are kind, and being kind and being nice are two different things. It's good as a pretty girl to be, you know, I said pretty and nice don't go together. Pretty and kind can go together. So I believe everyone should be kind, but being nice would get you used. Being nice would get you used, would get you abused, would get you in funny relationships. And I see people like, you know, dealing with like friendship wars, and I'm like, if you had picked better, if you chose to be kind rather than nice. And sometimes being kind is actually letting some people go. Being kind is letting some people go and knowing that, or not even allowing some people into your circle. That way they know that there is something, you know, they may need to work on or something. And I know that may be a controversial thing to say, but yeah, like if someone is a druggie, you may not want to let them into your circle. I'm just using that as an example. It could be anything. If someone's a thief, you may not want them into, I'm like, oh, why don't they want me into your circle? If someone is dressed a certain way, you may not want them into your circle. I suppose that's a simpler example. And if that happens, then it forces them to now start thinking like, oh, why was I not let into that circle? And it gives them like, you know, a better something to think about, and who knows, they could go work on themselves as well. So being kind, I think, is important, but being nice, not so much. So that is my opinion about the Lagos girls versus London girls situation, and you know, why pretty girls should be kind and not nice. I hope you learned something. Check out my other videos, especially my one on the skinny series, more to come, and see you in my next video. Bye.